Hello and welcome to Eelin's epic morning show! Yes, so exciting. So, yes, I know there hasn't been much action this week, and I can explain that. I have been teaching, I have been taking classes, I have been running around trying to get my residence permit, and yay! Finally, everything's worked out. Today was actually quite a good day. I had a chance to go and have some kahvalti, some breakfast with my study friends, because apparently the teacher called in sick for my Turkish class, so we couldn't go. So instead we went and had breakfast and talked a bit about life. And it was really nice to get to know my fellow students a little bit better. And after that, I was trying to go and pick up my residence permit, which had arrived at the post office. And crazy story. Yesterday I went to look for the post office, couldn't find it. Turns out there is no post office there. Really. I just found this small note above the window there or on the window that said the post office has moved, and another address. But in my rush yesterday I could not find it. Today I had a bit more time. I looked more carefully. I found this note, but I got to the post office just when they were closing for lunch, and I had to go to the school, have some nice English lessons with my favorite students, and it turns out that I couldn't make it in time. So then I was worried, how will I get the residence permit before it's sent back to Ankara somewhere? And as it turns out, I have 15 minutes extra in the afternoon. Long story short, I got my residence permit. Yay! And what I actually wanted to talk about today was a bit to share actually my good mood, because I'm in a really good mood. Today has been really great. I had a good time with my friends. I had a chance to go and pick up the residence permit, and I sort of got out of my blues today. Yesterday was not as fun, because yesterday was election time in the States, in US, and my least favorite candidate won. And after seeing what happened with Brexit, and after seeing like this sort of okay to anything goes kind of attitude that's been going around nowadays, when you can just throw around racial slurs and judge people, it's gotten me really down. It's gotten me really sad that we judge people just on no nonsense. Like, we don't try to get to know people, we just judge them based on whatever color of their skin, color of their hair, color of what they look like, what they believe, what they think. And instead of trying to embrace new knowledge, trying to understand, trying to reason, trying to discuss, we just throw slander around. It's really disgusting me. And yesterday was once again one of these. I said at Brexit, I couldn't believe that there would be a Brexit, like people would vote against the European Union, because for me it's always been a peace project. It's been the idea of the European Union. Yes, okay, it might be neoliberal, it might be founding a lot of economic, but those negative sides put aside, it has brought the countries of the European Union together. I have friends in almost all the European Union countries. I don't know, maybe I have in all of them actually. Because of the European Union, I have friends in Latin America, I have friends in, I don't know. I moved to Turkey because of the European Union. I think it has brought things to my life that could have been or is available to any other person in the European Union, and people still think that it's a bad thing. For me, the positive aspects outweigh the negative ones. And yes, we can look at things are being wrong, but why do we always focus on the negative things? I had a talk with my brother yesterday, and we were coming to the same conclusion, that the election in the US turned into somehow into not voting for someone, but voting against. that was our reasoning. Like, how did this happen? How did a blatant racist slur, someone who is able to just throw around, you know, negative things, just by doing negative speeches, is able to get to president without any real like experience in politics. I mean, everything's politics, but experience in, let's say, the government, or experience in how things run, is able to be voted to being the president of the United States. Well, it gives me a chance. Basically, I can become the next president of the United States. Well, not the United States, maybe, but it gives, you know, the opportunity. Yes, it's the land of opportunity for sure, because anyone can do anything, apparently. But to make that anything into something positive, I think education is the key, and I have really felt like this has been a moment where I have gotten, you know, education here. And I have gotten education. I'm getting education here. I'm learning Turkish. I'm learning about Turkish culture. I'm learning to understand how these people think. I'm learning to understand how things work here. A lot of the students in my class ask me, what do I prefer, Finland or Turkey? And it's not a question of what is better or what is worse. It's a question of difference. And from difference we learn. We learn from difference. We learn how, when things are different, we're able to actually understand our own surroundings, our own situation better, and we're understanding the new place also better. So I don't think one is better or one is worse. They're just different and have different problems and have different situations, and a lot of similarities, of course, but still it's from the differences you learn, kind of. And by learning we become all more similar. Love, yes. And maybe that's also something I wanted to say. Like today, yesterday was that. It was the election day. It made me sad, made me down. But I realized that actually what I'm doing right now, I'm talking to young people, I'm doing projects. In a few weeks I'm going to go to Scotland and do storytelling and sort of youth empowerment project, where we're going to do storytelling and outdoor methodology, like learning methodologies, for a way of sort of bettering people's CVs. So recognizing their own strengths and knowledge and putting it into their CV in creative ways, more or less. Maybe I'll talk a bit more about that when I come back from there, actually. And now just leave it at that. And I just thought that it's really like, these are the things, you know, this education, these are opportunities that are out there, but people maybe don't know about them. So yeah, educate yourselves. Anyone can do it. It's not the question of me. I was privileged, and I know I was privileged because I did this, and I recognized the opportunities that were given to me and how lucky I was to get them. Comparing, for example, Erasmus. I went into Erasmus and basically my school was begging people to go. They had so many contracts and were unable to fulfill them because people are wanting to come to Estonia, but there were not many people who wanted to go from Estonia. It's there. You can do it. Really. It will change your life, believe me. So today is quite a special day for Turkey. Today is the death day of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. So he was basically the guy who made the modern Turkish state in the 20s. So I guess that was after the Turks lost the First World War, I guess. And then there was a sort of revolution, and well, I don't know, revolution, but a new order, and the new president was called Mustafa Kemal. And then later on he got the title Atatürk, which is sort of like the head of Turkey, or the Turkish father of Turkey, or something like this. And he's basically seen as the guy who revolutionized education in Turkey, who made Turkey more Western. He even changed the alphabet. So before people were using the Arabic alphabet, to write Turkish, and it was called like Ottoman Turkish, and it was a bit different than the modern Turkish. There were different words, more Arabic influences, and so on. And there's still a lot of Arabic influences in Turkish, but it was even more back then. So then he changed the alphabet, and he also revolutionized the school education system so that people would have the opportunity to go to get their education and so on. And I've been hearing, I don't know if this is right or not, but he used basically the Finnish education system as a basis. Or at least there is a book that says that he was recommending on the Finnish education system, recommending it to people. Like, I don't know this book. I'm dying to find this book so I can read this. I would love it in English. My Turkish is not good enough for reading it, I guess. About Finnish education and about how it was free for all. It was, I don't know what else. I don't know. They're really curious here about how the Finnish education system is so good. It has a great, like, everyone knows how great it is. I went to apply for my residence permit and they're like, oh yes, Finland, good schools. Have you read the book? And I don't know about the book. Anyway, so he is sort of seen as the father of the modern education system here. And all is good, all is well, and then he dies. And that was before the Second World War. So I guess he wasn't that long in power, actually, like maybe 10-ish years. But anyway, he managed to sort of renew the state. And yes, there are many things that people are criticizing him about, or like, he's seen very legendary here, but there's of course, like any other person, there's pluses and minuses. And I wanted to actually use that as an example a bit, like now in these Trump times, and how we tend to point out the negative things of people, but why not look about positive things, like the fact that like Atatürk renewed this education system, made it sort of new. And yeah, okay, idolizing Finnish education, I don't know about that, but at least it's, you know, bringing some good change as well. We can hope that maybe Trump provides some of that. Maybe, who knows. So how do they celebrate this Atatürk's death day? Basically, I was going to school, I just got to school, and I heard this like air raid alarm sounding, and they ring for about 1 minute. And since it was an international like class, there were Iraqis in the class, there were Americans in the class, there was me, there was a lost French girl. We're all like arriving at that moment. And then everyone's like, what is this? What is this? Iraq is like, air raid. And we're like, no. Atatürk death day. Atatürk öldüğün gün. I tried. And they're like, ah. And then we stand in silence. Basically what happens is that people stop in their place. And they spend for 1 minute, just stop. And wait for the alarm to stop ringing. And then they go on with their business. That's what they do. Every year, on the same day, they celebrate the death of Atatürk this way. It got really silent. People stop their cars in the middle of the road. It's really, really silent. And we just stood there. It was just silent. And I'm a bit sad. I was there in an international group. I'm a bit sad I missed the Turkish people celebrating this, but at the same time, I think I got the gist of it. I got the idea. It's a beautiful sort of ceremony to remember him by. I thought that was a beautiful beautiful thing to do, like to remember someone by. But personally, I think that maybe we should remember people being not only good or not only bad, but I think we should focus on solution-oriented thinking, focus on positiveness, and not, go dig ourselves in a deeper hole than we already are in. So let love trump hate, I guess. Don't be desperate. It's okay. There's enough desperados out there. You can make it. Anyway, that was all for this time. Maybe next time I don't have to run in the rain before I come and do the video for you. But anyway, it was lovely to see you all guys again, and stay tuned and see you soon. Bye bye.